Bali is every traveler's version of paradise. Magical landscapes, hidden gems, and extraordinary surprises lurk around every corner. However, hitting up the internet leaves you drowning in the usual run-of-the-mill hotspots where everything feels seen, everything feels known, and when you get there, you run a serious risk of bumping into flocks of tourists. So how can you make your Bali trip more fun and less crowded? When we set out on our journey, we ended up with experiences we never could have imagined and stumbled upon discoveries we never would have expected. These lucky finds took our travel to a whole new level. And in this video, we will take you through some of our personal favorites. These are our top 10 hidden gems to take your trip beyond the usual Bali. Also stick around for a little bonus in the end. Now let's get to it. The first on our list is the Goa Garba temple. Now you know, if you're in Bali, you have to go visit a temple. But there are so many temples in Bali and they're overrun with crowds. If you want an escape, head over to the Goa Garba temple for a lovely getaway. This ancient ruin is tucked away behind tall trees, and the story goes that the Balinese king used to come here and meditate while the crown princes practiced their archery skills. You can see the allure when you get here. We went here on a weekend and did not run into a single soul. A walk down the steps of the ruins takes you to some obscure shrines. Walk further down and you reach a quiet creek. You can spend an evening sunset sitting by this river. The best part is it's completely free and just a 15-minute scooter ride from central Ubud. You can spend a couple of hours just walking around and need no guide. We did it, we loved it. You should do it too. The second on our list is a secluded hike up the rainforests of Mount Chatur. Now if you are the outdoorsy type and like to get lost amidst nature, Bali is full of options. However, Mount Chatur gives you a getaway like no other. This 7-hour hike takes you through many farms, trails covered in ferns, old trees with mossy greens, a few resting shacks, some densely covered wooded paths, and tricky slopes that will call for a good pair of hiking boots. Now granted, we didn't complete our hike because it started raining and got super foggy midway. But this makes it to our favorite hikes simply because of its green cover and the quiet solitude it brings with it. The chirping of the insects pretty much makes you feel you're in the middle of nowhere, taking you out of all the mainland bustle. It can get pretty misty and also bring a fair bit of tropical rain, so make sure you carry your rain gear. Also snacks and water, because you're definitely going to need them. Let's get to number 3, Cinnamon Rice Terraces. No Bali experience is complete without visiting its rice terraces. However, if your idea of enjoying the countryside like ours involves completely immersing yourself in the landscape, then head over to the villages of East Bali. The best alternative to the rice terraces of Ubud are the less frequented fields of Cinnamon Valley. Get to experience rural life at its pastoral best with front seat views to these spectacular green rice fields. Walk through its many farms and vegetable patches, stumble across rickety old bamboo bridges that help you across gurgling streams, and end your walk by taking a dip at the local river. Oh, and by the way, a chat with the friendly locals is a guaranteed occurrence and only makes the experience a whole lot richer. You could do this by renting an Airbnb in East Bali and walking out with a couple of local guides. We're linking this information in the description below for you to check out. Number 4. Vismakarta Village. To get to know a culture, we like to do 2 things: go out and meet its people and taste its food. Vismakarta Village on the banks of the river Natya offers both of these in generous proportions. East Bali has the atmosphere for one of the most immersive experiences into Balinese life, taking you through the villages that echo culture in every corner. Unlike the touristy south, it has more of an earnest vibe, true to Balinese nature. The people of the village are so genial and open to conversation, even if it's just through gestures and smiles. A walk through its streets and bylanes gives you a sense of the everyday rituals and hints of an idyllic life. It also helped that our Airbnb cooked up the most delicious meals. Freshly picked farm ingredients turned into a spicy nasi or mee goreng. They even hosted a traditional cooking class, wood fire and all. A total win-win if you ask us. Let's go to number 5, the Gillies. If you are in Bali and are looking for a beachy paradise, look no further. The Gillies are here. A 90-minute boat ride from the port of Padang Bai in East Bali takes you to the tropical utopia that is Gili Trawangan, better known as Gili Tea. There are 3 islands that make up the Gillies: Gili Air, Gili Meno and Gili Tea. Gili Tea has the best of both worlds, the quiet mornings on the beach and a lively party scene post-sundown. The pristine blue waters are an open invite for divers and aquatic enthusiasts alike. If you're feeling less adventurous, make sure you check with your hotel for snorkeling gear. The waters here are so clear, you run a decent chance of sightings pretty close to the shores. Rent out a bike and cycle around the island to a nice spot for sunset. The island has many cafes with live music and restaurants with elaborate menus, so you'll be spoiled for choice. This makes it to our list for the best place to camp out for a few days and do absolutely nothing. Alright, we're on to number 6, Sembaloon Village. A 30-minute boat ride from Gili Tea takes you to Lombok. This island is less frequented by tourists and often seen as a stand-in for Bali from 10 years ago. Up in the north of Lombok is Mount Rinjani, one of Indonesia's most famous volcanoes. The tourist setup at the foothills of Mount Rinjani is basic to say the least, but the spectacular landscape more than makes up for it. One such village at the foothills is Sembaloon, known for its fresh produce and gently cool weather. There are fresh berries to be picked and turned into milkshakes, stunning views of patchwork farms, and lazy strolls through village alleyways. The simple life with good food and clean air keeps the local folks here pretty happy. The hilly backdrop makes for some pleasant lazy walks through the landscape. They also produce some really good veggies in the region, so a hot pot of Arabica with a plate of nasi goreng would make for a perfect meal. Number 7. Sedang Gile and Tiukelep. If you are up in the north of Lombok, you will find yourself crossing the town of Senaru. Up here is a hidden gem of a waterfall, or rather 2 of them. To reach the Sedang Gile waterfall, walk down a flight of stairs under a green canopy. During the dry season, you can get into the water and under the cascade for a rush of cool spray. The weather here can flip very quickly. We experienced a heavy shower that turned into bright sunshine in a matter of minutes. Take some strolls across bridges and old Dutch waterways under the green cover filled with glorious glimpses of nature. There are a couple of river crossings with a rocky riverbed, so carry your flip-flops. Nothing beats the feeling of bare feet in cold water though. End your hike at the spectacular Tiukelep waterfall. The energy of these waterfalls is just something else, but the real reward is the trail itself. Number 8. Tete Batu Village. Further south at the foothills of Mount Rinjani is the village of Tete Batu, inhabited by the Sasak people. The Sasak culture values the handmade above all, so a walk through this village is filled with handmade treasures, beautiful farms and even more beautiful people. Learn to weave a bamboo basket the Sasak way. Watch skilled hands turn strands of bamboo into boxes and baskets almost effortlessly. Walk through a weaving village to learn how sarongs are made from scratch. Here, the threads soaked in handmade dye lie soaking in the sun, where spinning of wheels and clacking of looms is a constant backing track. Create a batch of handmade Lombok coffee by roasting and grinding your own set of coffee beans. If you're feeling up for some more work, go ahead and turn a couple of coconuts into a simmering vat of coconut oil. Number 9. Sarang Wallet. This was one of our best finds in Indonesia. Tucked away inside a cave in Tete Batu, some serious wading through ankle-deep water took us to Sarang Wallet, or the swallow's nest. There are rickety old wooden paths erected on stilts studded with mushrooms and lonely spiders. A series of springs trickle down its walls. A cloud of ferns filters in green light into the cave on a sunny day. The cover of green vines on the top and wading through these waters make you feel like you're in an Indiana Jones movie. Dappled sunlight pours in from above, lighting up the scurrying insects. A climb up a large rock takes you to the great reveal, the Sarang Wallet waterfall. In a little archway inside the cave, the spray is strong enough to draw you in for a nice back massage. The play of light on the water The arching trees up top and the prize at the end makes this one of our favorite waterfalls till date. Number 10. Nusa Lembongan Islands. The Nusa Lembongan Islands are so underrated. Head over to the quiet calming waters of the mangroves north of the Lembongan Island. Row your canoe down the waterways of the mangroves, quiet except the chirping of insects. Watch an occasional boat go by at a leisurely pace. The mangroves are atmospheric and captivating. Allow yourself to be transported to a universe where everything feels timeless. Give in to the luxury of rowing rhythmically through these waterways. Watch the filigree of roots sink into riverbeds and the light play hide and seek through its trees. The reflections of the mangroves is nature therapy at its best. These mangroves also serve local communities by keeping the earth tight in places washed away by rough seas. From a high point on this island, you can stop to take a look at the seaweed farms, patches of seaweed farmed at low tides of the afternoon. This has been a recent return to old ways of farming on the island, born of the dip in tourism during the pandemic. Now for the bonus. The Bali experience is incomplete without a little dollop of a culinary adventure thrown in. Head out to the morning markets of Ubud to sample tropical fruits, fresh produce and native breakfasts. Scroll through a staggering display of flowers and offerings while chatting with the vendors who often turn out to be local farmers. Go a bit further and pick up some new ingredients before heading out to try a Balinese cooking class. Pound your own fresh spices, chop up your chilies, and create a magic sauce that will add a zing to any of your recipes back home. While the tempeh sautés on the coals, whip up a feast to be shared at a table with newfound friends. If you are looking at visiting any of these places and are wondering what it might feel like, then make sure to check out our Indonesia playlist to get the whole picture. If you enjoyed this list we put together, then do consider liking this video and let us know with a comment how your trip goes. Also hit that subscribe button to stay posted for more such travel content. Until the next one, take care.